Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing for the February 22nd Al-Anon readings in Courage to Change and a Little Time for Myself. We'll begin with the Serenity Prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. I'll take a minute to look this over. The question of the day is, how willingly do I rely on others? The passage begins with someone who was a district representative. This person was nervous about their district hosting the Area World Service Committee meeting. So this person shared their concern with their sponsor, and they looked over the concepts of service together, and they found concept 2, which states the Al-Anon Family Groups have delegated complete administrative and operational authority to their conference and its service arms. So then this person realized that the event wasn't up to them, it was up to all the volunteers, and that not only was this person a trusted servant, but this person had to be a trusting servant also by letting people who volunteered do what they said they would do. This person said they humbly asked for help and trusted that the people who volunteered, along with their higher powers, would do what needed to be done. And today's reminder says that we witness unity, love, and serenity when we trust others to do what they willingly offered to do. The quote is from Paths to Recovery. It talks about how it's a great relief to rely on people to do what they say that they're going to do. So the question, how willingly do I rely on others? First of all, it's important to rely on others who have proven that they can be trusted. So that, I know that when my son was in crisis, he could not be trusted. I still loved him the whole time. That has nothing to do with it. But I couldn't trust him to do even what he said he was going to do. And also, when I look back at my childhood, now it was my grandfather who was the alcoholic, but my mother was brought up in that alcoholic household. So my mother was deeply affected, never sought help. So when I look at my childhood and how much I could trust my mom to do what she said she was going to do, I think she tried her best. But I think she did a lot of things that she wasn't proud of, and that she always felt like she needed to apologize for. It's like she almost wasn't in control of like her outbursts. And I feel like I never knew when she was going to lose control, and I don't think she did either, because then when she came back to her senses, she was always so apologetic, and it was just, I really felt for her, and it was almost like something had taken over her and she wasn't in control. So, that aside, how willingly do I rely on others? I have found that for people who I like have proven to me that they can be trusted, I have to be careful because how much do I really rely on people? I think that what I was going to say is people who I know can be trusted, I trust them to do what they say they're going to do. That's true. Like my partner, if he says he's going to do something, I know he's going to do it. Like my father, if he says he's going to do something, unless like something catastrophic happens that's completely out of his control, like it's going to get done. Like my dad has always been like that. My partner has always been like that. Um, I'm wondering who I really rely on. I mean, I'm thinking of professional people to do their job. I think that I rely on people to a point. I'm not talking about professionals, I'm talking about like just people in general. I think I like to make sure that I can handle things on my own, but I have a small, tight circle of people around me who I know I can trust and I know I can rely on. But I also know that they will do what they can do and they won't do more. So I guess that's the other piece of it is that I don't want to have a false sense that I can count on people to do things that are unrealistic. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what's going on in my head. Like I have to do for myself what I can do, and then there are people that I trust that I know that they will do what they can, and they will tell me straightforward, I can do this, I cannot do that. And I feel like that's how I interact with other people also. If I can do something, I will say, I can do that. And if I'm not sure, I will say, I'm not sure. And I'm getting better at that, which is very good progress. Because I think in the past, I used to say yes to a lot of things just because I didn't want to disappoint people. And then I felt horrible when I couldn't follow through or when like I just like had a collapse because I just really didn't want to. That's a exaggeration, but like resentment and just getting things all messed up for myself because I committed to things that I didn't want to commit to. All right, so this page has a tab on it. I'm gonna read it. This page is about making decisions, and the passage begins with this person saying that they had problems making decisions. They wanted to always make the right decision, and they learned in Al-Anon that nobody knows what the consequences are going to be of their decisions all the time. We can only take the information that we have and do the best we can, being thoughtful. And the passage goes on to say we don't have to make decisions alone. We can ask our higher power for help. And the help can come in the form of information at meetings, a feeling that we get, maybe in the pit of our stomach, or some kind of coincidence that happens. Sometimes our higher power speaks through others, like people sharing at meetings, sometimes listening to people even outside of meetings, and sometimes asking people about their own experience. That can help us make decisions in our own lives. And the passage finishes out by saying that no single decision is really that important, and that we do our best, but ultimately the results are in the hands of our higher power. Today's reminder: with the help of our higher power, decision making can be an adventure and a challenge, and that with our program we are capable of dealing with anything that happens. The quote is from As We Understood. When we ask our higher power for help, we need to realize that answers come from different sources. Sometimes the answers are right in front of us and we're looking for something more grand, and it's just very plain and simple. Most of the decisions I make in my life, I know they're not really massively consequential. I think that either way I can make it work, or I feel really fortunate about that, because in general, making decisions can be a little nerve-wracking or challenging. The biggest decisions that I made I made like a bunch of huge decisions in a relatively short amount of time, and that was around COVID. I made the decision that I was going to do what I needed to do to retire as soon as I could, and I was going to sell my house and downsize. So that was two enormous, life-changing decisions. And I really consulted with my higher power a lot. And I felt I felt guidance that I could not ignore. And the guidance was to do what I was doing. It was so strong that I couldn't ignore it. And I remember telling people that I was really close to, just a few people, that I felt such strong guidance that I couldn't ignore it. That I was being guided to, even though I was only going to be 55 when I retired, and I'm not independently wealthy, and like, I look back now, it wasn't long ago. This past year was the first year that I was fully retired. Oh, not even. This is the first year that I'm fully retired, because I consulted last year. So, I mean, like, technically through the state, I was retired, but I was still working. I can't really explain it, except that I knew, I had a very strong feeling that this is what I needed to do for my own health and my own happiness, my own well-being, my own life path. The voice not the voice, but the guidance that I kept getting was something like, it was enjoy your life now. Something to that effect. It was do what you want to do now. now is the time. Don't put it off. Don't put it off because it's, conventional to work 10 more years. Don't take the conventional path. Do what you feel you want to do with your remaining time on this earth. And that was it. It was like no regrets. I don't want to feel regrets if my health deteriorates. I want to know that I did everything I could as soon as I could. I live my life to the fullest. So those were huge decisions. And I felt like, they did it changed the course of my life for sure. For the better. Yeah. I'm really appreciative of that, really grateful for that. We'll close out with the serenity prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.